made a very wise choice today. You selected another episode of Average Sports with your average guys, where we're going to break down some sports and what's happening all across the sports universe in America. I'm your host, one of them, Ty. Eric's on the other line
That's
here.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Well, glad to have you guys listening in on another edition of Average Sports. And yeah, we have a good one here lined up for you. We're going to talk quite a bit of football because it's just that time of year. You know, August, end of August.
Yeah.
And so we got a lot of stuff about to happen.
Yeah, we do.
I think we're talking about 3 different leagues of football in this one, actually.
Yep, that's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
So we got 3.
Yeah, before we do, what are we not talking about, though? And it is football related.
It is going to be football related. It's Antonio Brown and his helmet dispute with the NFL. So it's, you know, he had this helmet dispute and then he didn't. Then he's like, oh, no, it's cool. I'll show up. And now
I'm going to go a step further, Eric, and say we don't talk anything about Antonio Brown just at all. So moving on, some sports stuff. What have you been watching? I saw that the MLS is coming to St. Louis, and I was watching the Cards game because, whatever, I'm a fan. Paul DeYoung knocking out the Neon M in Big Mac Land the other day. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was a big home run.
That's a big
You don't always see
run.
something like where a light gets shattered out and a crew has to take it out the next day.
Yeah.
But that was kind of cool. What have you seen?
Definitely interesting. A couple things for you guys. So our last episode was always my favorite one of the year. It's our fantasy football episode. Guys, you still have time to go back, listen to it. We did a mock draft on our last episode. So check that out. See what you guys think of what we did. We posted our drafts on our socials too, so don't forget to hop over there on our Facebook page and see whose draft you like better. It's obviously mine.
Yeah.
Ty's was not super great.
We'll see.
But, you know, that's just my opinion. And then the XFL has announced their team names.
Oh, my gosh.
And, you know, we've had the cities for a little bit. So the cities, Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles, New York, Washington, D.C., Tampa Bay, Seattle, and St. Louis. And they just announced all the names, color schemes, all of that yesterday throughout all these cities. So we're going to go over them real quick, and we're just going to pick our favorite. We're not going to spend a ton of time on it because we'll at least spend
we're gonna
a
move
little
on.
bit of time on future episodes. So Dallas Renegades, Houston Roughnecks, Los Angeles Wildcats, New York Guardians, St. Louis Battlehawks, Seattle Dragons, Tampa Bay Vipers, and the DC Defenders. Ty, what do you think?
I don't know. It's honestly tough. I'm trying to go by maybe logo. Houston's kind of cool because you'd have to check it out. XFL.com has them all posted up there as soon as you log on to it. The Houston logo is neat because it reminds you of the old Oilers. It's very much similar in that respect. I kind of like the Guardians logo the best, but I also, and maybe that one, I think I would have to go with New York. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of really any of them, especially a couple of, I think it's easier to pick my least favorite, and I think it's Seattle Dragons. The Dragon logo is just, it's weak. I don't get it. And kind of the Vipers looks like it's phoned in. I know you have a least favorite too. But anyway, I like Guardians, and least favorite is Seattle. Yeah. So
my favorite's probably Houston. I like the logo. They got a big H in there as well too, kind of hidden but not really. I think that's pretty cool. And then it's definitely a throwback and something that's very pertinent to that part of the country and that city. St. Louis is kind of cool too because if you flip it upside down, it has STL in there. By looking at them, I don't see anything else hidden in any of the other logos. But
not the Roughnecks.
No, the big H.
Yeah, it's pretty
big
obvious.
Old H. Yeah, it's super obvious. But yeah, the DC Defender one is pretty cool too. LA Wildcats. Now that I look at it a little more, is definitely my least favorite. That's even worse. But I do.
It's not even a clever name. It's not anywhere close.
No, it's very
original.
generic.
Yeah.
But in fairness, Los Angeles has had like 10 million teams, so they've already used all the actual team names available. Yeah, just color schemes. I wish colors were a little bit brighter. I think
we were talking about that. So there's 8 teams, and 2 of them have green as like their main color. Like, there's only 8 teams, so you couldn't mix it. Like 2 of them are blue, 2 of them are red. Actually, 3 of them have red. And if you count the New York, they have an accent. So it's a lot going on with just very similar colors. I think they could have put in a purple or a more yellow or something. It's just that. there's a whole spectrum out there, and they're just kind of, I don't know who was part of the design team, but I think they're a little lacking. To me, it looks like it's all these names belong in a Marvel movie.
Maybe.
And I think that's kind of the edge they're going for, maybe that audience that they're really trying to appeal to. So we'll see. I mean, XFL has a big hill to climb for their legitimacy in the sports universe. So I think with that, I mean, let's move on. Let's talk about something else.
Next thing. So the topic for today is going to be looking into the NFL. We're gonna do a shallow dive because we do average dives here. We're not going to go super deep. It's
very average.
And we're going to take a look. We will quickly recap the previous divisions and where they finished, and as we're recapping them, we'll talk about what we think will come for the teams this year in that division, and at the end we'll go ahead and give some of our predictions. So I'm going to start it off here. We're going to move NFC South is where we're going to start. And so last year the Saints 13-3, Falcons 7-9, Panthers 7-9, Bucks 5-11. There were some changes in this. So Bucks fired their head coach, brought in Bruce Arians, and they were a high-powered offensive team last year. I think they're going to be the same this year. Defensively is where they're going to be lacking, and we'll see if they can improve on that. I don't see much, although I think people have been waiting for years for the Bucks to quote unquote take that next step, and they're right in the position they have been for the last 3 or 4 years.
It's a tough division when you really look at it.
It's very
balanced between 3 teams, and then you have the Bucks who are
I expect the Saints, even though they're a very good team, they're just as good as they were last year. Although Drew Brees is a year older, he's definitely been in decline. But that defense is great. They have a great offense still. I think they'll take a step back, but I look for the Falcons and the Panthers to win a couple more games outside of the division and improve. I think 7-9 is a little low for both of them, but the Falcons have to stay healthy on defense for that to really happen. Ty, what are your thoughts on the NFC South before we move on?
On the NFC South, I got nothing else. I mean, that was plenty of coverage for one division.
Perfect. Let's do it. Talk to me about the North, NFC North.
Yeah, on the NFC North, man, that's one is also gone through a lot of volatility between 3 teams. You got the Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings, and Chicago Bears, all respectively going from bottom to top there. So the Bears won the division at 12-4. That was a pretty solid Bears team last year for sure. Make it the playoffs. And the Vikings, do they have some more fuel in the tank? I don't know why not. Still a strong defense. Like, why should anything really change there? Yeah.
Strong defense. They did change offensive coordinators late in the season. We'll have to see how that impacts, but I think they're a good team.
Some good offensive weapons in their wide receiver core. Green Bay Packers, they got a lot going on, but that is a steadfast city that loves their football, and it's a small margin for error. And you have to think that Rodgers is going to, he's going to hang in there, of course, as long as he stays healthy. And then you have Detroit Lions, much like Tampa Bay, that just need to put a couple more things together, and maybe this year they will. They're bringing in another running back, and see what happens. I think that the Bears and Vikings will still kind of take over that division, but who knows? There could be a surprise in there for sure. Like, your wild card might be hidden in there. No doubt.
The Bears I see taking a step back. I'm just not a believer in Mitch Trubisky overall. Defensively, they'll be in games, but and that's going to have to be how their team is done. Minnesota takes a step forward from 8-7-1. I just don't see a way that they can't. Green Bay, I see them taking a game or two ahead, and Lions, I think they actually overachieved at 6-10 last year. So we'll see.
And the NFC West, how about that? So the last division there in that conference, Seattle Seahawks, San Francisco 49ers, and Arizona Cardinals. We did miss the East. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We'll get to it.
Oh, don't forget about the East, Eric.
I know you would not live it down. I wouldn't let you.
All right. Well, is that really the Rams division to lose?
Yeah.
Of
100%.
course. Right. San Francisco still has a lot to prove. Arizona Cardinals has a lot to prove after
Arizona Cardinals are bad.
Terrible season.
They're bad.
They, who's their quarterback this year?
Oh, Kyler Murray. They drafted Kyler Murray. He's going to be the starter. They traded Drew Rosen to Miami.
Yeah.
And he's sitting behind Fitzpatrick.
So, I mean, they're nothing until they say otherwise. So, really, it's just all L.A. in that one.
Agreed.
Seattle's going to be potentially another wild card team again, but... Yeah.
They're a huge run-heavy team. I think that run-heavy teams sit around 10, 11, and 6.
I think it's easy to say that playoff or that the way that division ended in 2018 will be the same for 2019.
Yeah, I think that one actually is very predictable. Yeah,
NFC East. All right, this is you.
Yeah,
big guy.
Cowboys finished 10-6, Eagles 9-7, Redskins 7-9, Giants 5-11. Giants are terrible. I thought 5 wins was overachieving for them as you watch them play.
Okay,
their defense is bad. Eli's bad.
It's true.
Saquon Barkley's amazing.
Yeah,
but he's really the only true talent on that team. Daniel Jones, who they drafted out of Duke, he's going to take some time to develop. I think he'll play this year, but he's not going to be an impact player this year. Redskins are what the Redskins are, man. That's what they are. They're 7-9, 6-10.
Like a 500 team. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eagles. I think the Eagles are the team that take the step forward here in this division. I think the Eagles could be a favorite in the NFC. The NFC is daunting. The NFC is way, way tougher than the AFC, and we'll go over that here in a minute. But you have, 8 to 10 teams that you could make a case for that could make the playoffs. You don't have that in the AFC.
Okay.
As far as like strong teams.
Sure.
Cowboys finished 10-6. If Zeke doesn't get back into camp, the Cowboys would be lucky to be 500.
No, it's always kind of drama in Dallas. Yeah. So, they could wind up being the third place team or they could win the division again. So it's just kind of like they're week to week.
The NFC East has not had the same winner for years. It's always switched. So I do see the Eagles winning this division, as much as it pains me to say that. But the Cowboys are a very good team as well. So that's what we got.
All right, real quick, hopping in the AFC. Let's talk about this. We started in the South on the NFC, so let's do that here. You had the Texans winning that one at 11-5. The big surprise with the Indianapolis Colts with 10-6, 9-7 for the Titans, and 5-11 Jacksonville Jaguars. Boy, who do you see winning that one in 2019?
I think this is the toughest division in the AFC because I could legitimately see all 4 teams.
Yeah.
Potentially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Titans, I think, are the worst team out of here, even though Jacksonville finished 5-11. Jacksonville is still very strong defensively. They're an okay team offensively, and they upgraded.
Right.
So I see them moving up. I see Tennessee moving down. Mariota hasn't been healthy, and he's so inconsistent anyway, even when he is. Colts, strictly right on Andrew Luck. If Andrew Luck's there, they're going to be good. They could be a dark horse to actually win the AFC. Texans are still the best team with the best offense and still a above average defense here. So I still see the Texans winning, but if Andrew Luck is healthy, which he isn't right now, if he's healthy, they'll go far.
And so just about putting the ball in the end zone. It's that simple, of course. Yeah. Jacksonville only scored 245 points last year, but they let in the same amount of points as the Texans. So that's disparate. It's as simple as that. Their defense, though, is great. How about the AFC North?
AFC North. So that's where you have Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals. Ravens 10-6, Steelers 9-6-1, Browns 7-8-1, Bengals 6-10. Bengals stay on the bottom. I don't think their offensive line, while it's a little improved from last year, it's not much. They're really going to ride heavy on Joe Mixon and AJ Green when he's actually healthy. So he's going to be off the field for a little bit. Browns are going to be the team that everybody's wanting to jump on the horse for this year. I see the Browns definitely taking a step forward. They're very, very talented. Steelers lost their 2 best offensive weapons. I could still see them winning some tight games, but I think they take a massive step down. And the Ravens are going to be a team that's going to be in it. I think they finished 10-6, just like they did here.
Why not? I think it can be a little wild in the AFC. Like, everyone's going to be very close until the last 4 or 5 games of the season.
Agreed.
So it should be very entertaining, very interesting. Even the Bengals could be in first place by the end of week 3. Just because all you need are a couple wins, right, to do that. So I think that'll be a fun division to pay attention to. And staying on trend here for the AFC West now. This is where things get a little, I think, tricky because you have 2 teams that finished at the first and second of that division, 12-4 for both. Kansas City Chiefs and LA Chargers. I think it's the writing's on the wall, and everyone should know this. If you think otherwise, you're just kind of living in a dream. Kansas City Chiefs are not going to score as many points and do what they did. They scored 565 points last year. They also let in 421.
Yeah, their defense is bad. Whoa. They had to score 565 points.
That's incredible.